Hi students, I hope that you all are doing well. This is our computer organization and architecture. This is your 20th video lecture. In this video lecture, I am going to talk about implementation of the processor using building blocks. I hope that you remember when you study about the building blocks of a computer, already we have seen about some building blocks in sequential circuits and the combination circuits in our first unit. They are also using building blocks for constructing of the combination circuits and sequential circuits. So here also we are going to see about some building blocks which help us to build the processor. Okay, these building blocks explains about the processor, how the processor we are implementing, how the simple processor, how it will construct by or build up by building blocks. First thing, I want to focusing on microprocessor. What is a microprocessor? And building blocks. Building blocks is not, that means some of the parts that helps the microprocessor, okay, to build or to construct, okay, construct to be as a microprocessor. So now, content of the lecture, what is a microprocessor and what are building blocks that are helps to build the microprocessor in a computer organization and architecture. You will see the definition of microprocessor. Don't think that microprocessor is different from central processing unit. Not like that. Microprocessor or central processing unit both are works and the same concept, both are okay same. Microprocessor, CPU, the functionality, working nature and all things are same. If you talk about microprocessor, you are indirectly talking about processor. Just look at here. The microprocessor, also known as central processing unit. Microprocessor, also known as central processing unit. Students, don't get any confusion. When you are hearing the words microprocessor or central processing unit, the both are same, the functionality and everything. Okay? That's why microprocessor, also known as a central processing unit, CPU, is a computational machine. It executes arithmetic, logical, control, and input-output operations. Okay? The processor works is to do the operations. It's an operations. Okay, it is programmable and follows the instructions programmed into the memory. So when I discussed regarding instructions or instruction set, in a computer nearly 85 to 124 instructions are defaultly designed by the computer programmers. These are the default instructions that are there in the memory. So these instructions will execute in sequence order automatically to doing the work of computer. So here processor is nothing but a central processing unit, and it will perform the several kinds of operations like logical, arithmetical, control, input, output operations, and the programmed instructions already defaultly designed by the software engineers or program developers. Let's see the block diagram of processor system or processor. This is the block diagram. So here are the input output devices, and here is the memory, okay, and it is a data path, and this one is the controller. As I said that about the control unit have the command over processor, how to do, when to do, okay, and what to do. How to do, when to do, what to do, all things are controlled by the control unit or the processor. Based on the control unit instructions, the processor will work. Then data path, all of you know that the data path where you will get the data to do the operations. If you want to do some addition operation, we have to get two values. Then only we can perform the addition operation. You want to add the 2 plus 4, 2 is one data and 4 is one part of data, and both data you want to add it using of the operation symbol, that is plus. Then you can do the some operation. Without having of data you can't do anything. So data path help you to get the data where it's actually located. Memory or register, primary memory, secondary memory, or input output devices, where it is available are decided by data path. It will show the path to take the data. This is about the building blocks of the processor system. These are all building blocks. We will see in detailed manner. So all functional units of the CPU are there to accommodate the instruction cycle. So all the components works according to the instruction cycle only. In CPU also it mentions the instruction cycle. Instruction cycle, it provides the sequence of instructions, how to do the work, how to accomplish the task or job. And first one, these functional units can be grouped into two major categories. So what we discussed now, the CPU will maintain the several instructions, and these instructions will be grouped into two types. One is data path, second one is the control unit. What are they? First one is the data path, second one is the control unit. And these two are a major categories. Okay, major categories. So data path, a group of functional units that performs data processing. Control unit, this unit is responsible for controlling the data path, operation selections, data movement between the functional units, path, multiplexing, etc. One is the data path, second one is the data control unit. Both are the. So now we'll see, we are talking about the building blocks, and these are also part of the building blocks, especially for processor. So here control unit is that data path and control unit both should be there. Control unit will perform the operation, data path perform the operand where the data is available. Both are important. Now CPU block diagram or microprocessor block diagram. CPU block diagram. So it is here a program counter, program memory, instruction register, ALU arithmetic logic unit, and CPU register and data memory. So these are controlled by the control unit. These are controlled by the control unit. Actually, this is how the operations will going on inside with the help of the memory, with the help of the counter, with the help of the register, with the help of the accumulator register, with the help of the memory, and how the processor works on sending the data and transferring data one component to another component. It will explain it clearly. how processor works. So, processor is the heart or brain of the computer. Brain of the computer. So it's control all the components in the computer. Control the all components in the computer. So our intention is here how this processor will be constructed. This process will be constructed or designed by the several building blocks. We will see the several building blocks. What are they? So we will see all these building blocks in a sequence order and one by one. The first one is the typical processor system consists of several building blocks. So first one is CPU central processing unit, second one is the arithmetic logic unit, third one is the control logic, fourth one is the register, etc. And fifth one is the memory, and sixth one is the input output interface. These all are building blocks of processor, ALU, CPU, control logic, register, memory, input output interface. These all are building blocks of a processor. Interconnection between these units: address bus, data bus, control bus. So now we have seen the many building blocks, how these building blocks will work inside of the CPU, a central processing unit, how the communication is going on, okay, how the interaction is going on between them. All things are possible based on the building blocks. So interconnection between these units, address bus, data bus, control bus, these all components will connect it through the bus. So bus, control bus is there, address bus is there, control data bus is there, based on the requirement, based on their properties. So and data bus also a part of a building block of the computer or processor. In data bus, program memory, register file, instruction register, these are the small building blocks, also building blocks or building blocks of processor. A simple implementation of the building blocks of the processor. Program counter, arithmetic logic unit, data memory, and all these things are building blocks of the microprocessor or building blocks of central processing unit or CPU processor. These all including we can call as a building blocks for to construct a processor or microprocessor. Next part is one is the data path, second one is the control. Data path will help you to get the data, and the controller unit will help you to do the operations on that data. So select the flag signal and indicating a certain conditions. The control unit is responsible for controlling the data path functional units. The control is based on the instructions that is currently being processed, and it consists of generating signal using for coordinating the operations of the CPU. An example, the control unit may set up flag signals, indication a certain condition, select a certain path between the functional units, turn on off data path component. Set a plug signal. Set a plug signal. These all are the building blocks of processor. So this is actually what you are seeing here. This is a processor. This is a microprocessor architecture. How the microprocessor works. So this is the architecture of microprocessor. Here we can see different types of building blocks that are helps to the microprocessor to build a processor. So here interrupt controller is there, serial I/O controller is there, and timing and controller is there, and address bus, data bus, and control bus, and these also things are there. So these all things are inside of the microprocessor architecture. And apart from this, bus is a part of building blocks, CPU is a part of building block, and this is the internal structure of the central processing unit. It's the internal structure of central processing unit. This is also central processing unit is also a part of a building block of the processor. Then memory, I/O devices, and memory I/O devices both are the part of the processor. So all this part, it may be bus, it may be I/O devices, it may be registers, it may be accumulators, it may be control units, it may be different components. So which helps to the processor to build it like a processor. These are all elements, these are all blocks, parts you can call building blocks of processor, a building block of processor. I hope that this is a very small lecture. In this video lecture, I discussed regarding what are building blocks. I don't want to go that much deeper level because we just know that what are the types of building blocks helps to the computer or processor to build itself as a processor. So all these things, all these components, all these blocks, all these parts helps to the computer to build itself like a processor. Actually, what I am trying to say here, just we are knowing here how the processor will be constructed, or else how the processor will works with the help of the building blocks. The help of the building blocks. I hope that you understand everything clearly. Just again, I want to briefly giving a summary of this video lecture. Yes, I want to simply giving a summary of the video lecture. In this video lecture, just I want to sum up all the slides and I will wind up this video lecture. So first we have seen what is a microprocessor and the diagram of the microprocessor and how this microprocessor especially divided into two parts, data path and control unit. How data path helps to get the data, and control unit helps to do the operations on data. These things also we discussed, and I said that. So different types of blocks are there. So pointer, counter, arithmetic logic unit, central processing unit, data memory. So these all are different types of building blocks and structure of the microprocessor. These all are different types of building blocks to construct a processor, the computer organization and architecture. So memory, bus, I/O devices, and counter, ALU, registers. These all are the building blocks. Okay, these all are building blocks in a processor. Thank you so much for watching.